Hello everyone. So I'll be presenting about enhancing climate resilience in Dang district of Nepal and the importance of understanding the relationship between climate change and agriculture. Dang district in Nepal's western plains falls under Lumbini province. This place is increasingly affected by climate change impacts like drought, irregular rainfall, floods, and soil erosion. Most families here rely on subsistence farming and nearby forest resources for their livelihood. So this makes them more vulnerable. Women, Dalit, Tharus are the indigenous people living in Dang and landless households. These people face the most risk due to poverty, exclusion, and limited access to the resources. This makes adaptation not just an environmental issue but also a social justice challenge. In Dang, most indigenous people depend on agriculture and forest resources for their survival. But climate change has also hit hard on agriculture. So, Tharu people suffer the most due to loss of agricultural production from increased pest, diseases, and weeds. According to Ramasamy, weather and climate events are responsible for 90% of crop loss in this region. Drought alone causes around 40% of crop loss, while flood contributes to another 23% in crop loss. This growing unpredictability has made it harder for small farmers to grow food on income or plan for their future. So, adaptation is not just an option for these people, it's a necessity for survival. So, what has been done in this region? There are few NGOs working for the betterment of this area along with local governments, and organizations like Green Foundation Nepal and FECOFUN are also actively responding with community based adaptation strategies. I also used to work in Green Foundation Nepal before doing my postgrad, and how they work is they train farmers for organic farming and climate resilient farming techniques. They use few organic compost and then fewer chemicals to improve soil health. They also set up seed banks with drought tolerant and indigenous crop varieties. This makes communities less dependent on unstable seed market. So these organizations also promote agroforestry to help families grow trees and crops together to restore degraded land and provide food, fuel, and income. Another key area is supporting livelihood through forest based products. Households sustainably collect and process non timber forest products. Things like wild herbs, bamboos, fruits, and medicinal plants are collected. Then they turn these collected non-timber forest products into soaps, bamboo crafts. Bamboo crafts can be seen in the pictures as well, and these all the crafts are made by women, and these are also sold in local markets, also showcased in different conferences and different um, charities. So they turn these bamboo crafts, and they also do herbal teas, pickles, and spices that are sold in local markets, especially by women's group. So this diversification not only reduces pressure on forest but also helps families on stable income despite climate stress. So what has been the social impacts? Uh, these impacts has been powerful. Women are now leading uh, cooperatives and forest user groups. They are making decisions that used to be off limits to them. Farming families has increased food security, and some have also reduced the need to migrate for work. There's a rise in peer learning through farmer field schools, and even youths are joining in adaptation efforts. Community forest groups are managing their local environment while also advocating for land rights and fair policies. These aren't just technical solutions, they are empowering people and transforming rural society. It shows that when people have the tools, knowledge, and rights, they can adapt efficiently and fairly. This case from Dang teaches us that climate adaptation must include social transformation, because by only addressing equity, livelihood, and environment together, we can build true resilience. Thank you so much.